Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Rampage review for this past Saturday, which is not the normal AEW review day, obviously, but they have changed days because of, I believe, hockey. Various sports cause AEW to change upon occasion, and this is one such occasion. Anyway, Dynamite results. Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish are the main match here, and Dynamite was not a bad show for what it was. CM Punk's making the entrance to start the show and does the commentary for the first match, which isn't necessarily an all bad thing. Anyway, Mikel Black defeats Dante Morton with Leo Rush to start things off. Weird match. There are some moments, but obviously Dante Martin, who internet nerds like a Dave Meltzer are in love with, isn't ready to be there as a wrestler on this grand a stage, but obviously there'll be excuses made to legitimize that. Anyway, Black has a bit of a stinger, and Andor is super good at selling, although, anyway, so after chain wrestling exchange early, Dante forces Black to the floor, hits a drop kick, and takedown right away with a back elbow, and then Black counters a springboard straight into a powerbomb and locks on a leg grab, forcing Dante into the ropes, gets a break. Black shows more odd offense and hits a bunch of takedowns and continues to target the knee. No commercial break interruptions in this one. Dante then hits comeback and stands with a reverse Rana, and then he hits a crazy dive. And obviously, this doesn't go perfectly. Dante lands on the top rope and hits a Rana for basically the high point of the match, but then sells his knee on the impact and then hits a double jump moonsault. But that's not enough to put Black away. Black then pops up and then hits the single leg crab, but he relinquishes due to an issue with the midsection. Black then avoids another dive and hits a spinning heel kick for the win. Jurassic Express are asked about their health status. Kenny Omega and Adam Cole interrupt, and Young Bucks blindside, easy for me to say. Then with super kicks and Omega power bombs Luchasaurus through a table. Inner Circle reunion. I don't know. This kind of feels flat. Anyway, original five all come out to the Judas song. They are very happy that the fans are happy. Santana hypes up the crowd before addressing American Top Team, who interrupts. Dan Lambert calls the Inner Circle the Circle Jerks before admonishing the crowd for booing his team. And anyway, so we kind of move forward, and Jericho tries to accuse Paige Van Zandt of trying to slide into his DMs. He said that there would be no more beatdowns. He wants a 5-on-5 tag match. Lambert said Men of the Year have bigger plans, and those plans involve championships. He runs down the Inner Circle one by one before saying he'd give Guevara his terms next week. I don't know. Sky interrupts and reminds us how he's pinned Jericho twice. Guevara said he'd beat both of the Men of the Year right now. This is flat. AAA Tag Team Champions Los Super Ranas, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood with Andrade defeated the Lucha Brothers to win the AAA tag belts. I hope this means that they're going to win the AEW tag belts back soon, because it'd be cool if there was actually a team that wasn't flippy floppies. Anyway, so a lot of people are not a fan of this. They think it's a bad way to treat international championships, but it is what it is. And the Lucha Brothers hit some dives. Anyway, and so FTR is wearing Lucha outfits here. They perform a version of Lucha Libre going into Lucha Brothers masks. Lucha Brothers were able to unmask them before the break. Phoenix makes a comeback and hits an assisted dive, allowing Penta to land diving dropkick to their backsides, and then they land a bunch of dives to the outside. Wheeler tries to use the AAA tag belts. Penta avoids it, but they're sent into the timekeeper's table. Dax gets a rope-assisted roll-up, and then Tully Blanchard runs out and distracts the official. Dax hits a belt shot and brainbuster to win the AAA belts, and then Dante Martin and Leo Rush backstage. Rush then says Dante failed because of his own doing, and then he tries to take Dante to new heights. From this day forward, Rush will be Dante's new tag team partner. So I don't know if this means that's the end of the team or where that goes somewhere down the road. Shivani catches up with FTR and Andrade celebrating backstage. MJF walks up and Andrade hands him payment. MJF says using FTR was a one-night thing. John Moxley defeats Wheeler Yuta. Moxley goes right after him before the bell, hits a release suplex, ground and pound, and then the paradigm shift for a squash win. Why build a guy up if you're just going to squash him off? Anyway, Super Click, Adam Cole, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson defeat Dark Order, Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. I don't know. If you like trios matches, I guess you might have enjoyed this. If you don't, then you're going to see it the way I do, which is what was the point. Super Click attacked before the bell and go for the assisted powerbomb on the ramp, but Silver reversed and Reynolds takes out everyone with a dive. Bell finally rings and the Dark Order keeps the attack with a triple team offense. Silver then has a great run of offense going before Matt and then cuts him off with a super kick. Cole stopped with Reynolds' dive and a kick before hitting a assisted Yoshibo. Super Click continues to dominate through the commercial. Double suplex allowed, and Silver tries to reach Uno for a hot tag. Uno pulls a sock and goes for a mandible claw. Cole then breaks that up. Silver and Reynolds make fun of the Bucks kissing Cole and then send them crashing into the Bucks on the outside. Uno hits a something evil for near fall, but the Bucks break up the pinfall attempt. The Bucks then take out Uno and Silver as Cole and Reynolds are the only ones left in the ring, and Reynolds rolls Cole up, and then there's a near fall, and they run into super kicks from the Bucks, followed by Panama Sunrise, BTE trigger, and then they running knee. Cole gets the super kick for the win. After the match, Jungle Boy immediately runs in and quickly is dispensed by the Super King. He protects a chair and cracks it across Brandon Cutler's back, and the super kick, the super click flees. Then they lock on the snare trap, and cold spray into the eyes of color. Cody Rhodes, Arn Anderson vignette plays. Dustin Rhodes lets them into the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Red Velvet slaps Cody. Arn makes Cody do basic drills against all 5 trainees and introduces Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, Killian King, slaps Cody, and then he begins bleeding from the mouth. Arn motivates Cody using a memory of the past, saying Mikhail Black has it coming. MJF comes out and makes fun of the crowd using Spanish. He calls out the ring gear and introduces himself as if he's about to wrestle a match against Darby Allin, but Allin wasn't cleared after Pinnacle Attack last week. He plays as if he doesn't know what happened with the attack, brings out Wardlow, who has referee Bryce Remsburg in tow. MJF demands that Remsburg count to 10 and force the forfeit of the match. Remsburg counts, but before he could get to 10, Sting makes his way to the entrance. Bat in hand, MJF throws Wardlow in the way, and Sting hit Wardlow with the bat. Sting drops the bat and wanted to fight. MJF storms off. MJF and Sting sounds like it could be really fun. Anna Jay is asked about Dark Order's loss, but immediately interrupted by Britt Baker, who called them losers. Jay is a loser and a follower herself. Jay punches Britt, and they're broken up by officials. Maybe they're going to a championship match somewhere in the near future here. Penelope Ford and Kiera Hogan. This is a horrible thing. Anyway, Hogan has a lot more talent than Ford ever will, but she obviously can't carry someone. They get lost when the match basically begins. Ford recovers a little bit, gets a hip toss, match goes to commercial. Ford is in control. They fight out, and they're both on the top rope. And then there's a Hogan superplex. Hogan makes a comeback with clotheslines and a running drop kick for a near fall. Ford hits a handspring cutter and then applies the Motlock for the submission. Ruby Soho immediately runs out and attacks, and then the bunny runs out and saves Ford. Soho wants to keep fighting, but Ford and Bunny run away. Miro's faith was being tested after losing the TNT Championship. Why have thou forsaken me, he asks. He's done begging. Everyone else will know pain until he becomes God's favorite champion once again. Hangman Page cuts a promo. This is a good thing. Basically, Hangman Page is brought out for an interview with Tony Schiavone. He said that he's excited for Full Gear. The original idea behind AEW's changed the world, but it felt like the world changed him. He failed to be the first AEW World Champion, goes on a losing streak, losing his confidence and friends along the way. He has been brought back, and he says the cowboy stuff means lots of things, going back home and there for the birth of his beautiful son. And then when you fall off the horse, you get back up and get back on. You keep going. He says he knows that the fans still believe in him, and that for the first time in his life, he does believe in himself as well. At Full Gear, Page will give us everything: his blood, sweat, and tears, and, well, cowboy stuff. Rampage for 10/22. Non-title Britt Baker against Anna Jay, Pac and Andrade, and World Title Eliminator first round match. Dynamite on 10/22. Cody Rhodes and Mikhail Black, and 2 World Title Eliminator first round matches. Then we go to the main event here, but might as well just highlight the first round matches as they are. John Moxley versus 10, Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Bryan Danielson versus Dustin Rhodes, and Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. What a weird tournament bracket. Anyway, so kind of just a really interesting thing there. Anyway, but the main event, Bryan Danielson defeats Bobby Fish. Fish takes control with kicks early, but Danielson gets out of the corner and tries to pick up Fish and tries to pick him apart. Danielson uses a lot of movement and a corner backflip, but gets cut off with another kick from Fish. Danielson sets Fish to the floor and hits a tope dive to the outside. Fish then kicks out Danielson's leg and regains control and retains it through the commercial break. Fish takes control, and once back from the break, Fish continues with his MMA infusion style, and then sliding lariat gets a near fall. Danielson starts his comeback by countering a crab into an ankle lock and then a German suplex. He then lays out and lays in the kicks and drop kicks and then dragon screw leg whips, turning the target of his attack to Fish's knees. Fish then catches and kicks him, and a backdrop driver for a near fall. Fish lands Falcon Arrow and immediately locks in the knee bar. Danielson transitions into a heel kick and knee bar. Danielson wins with an exchange and locks on the heel hook for a submission victory. Anyway, so it was a good way to end the show, but not your typical Dynamite for sure. We'll be back with more right after this.